Good morning. We're here.
Yes, please do.
We made it. We made it to another day. Yay! We've survived another lifetime. Because I feel like every day is like a whole lifetime. You know, it's like I wake up and I have this whole middle of the day and then I go to bed. I don't know if I'm going to wake up. And it's like I pretty much die every night, right? And then it's like, you don't know. And then the next day I'm like, new day, new life. It's brand new.
And it's so easy to take it for granted that you are going to wake up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about this on the way here. By the way, I'm Jane, for those of you that don't know me. This is Body, Mind, Spirit. So maybe we're going to talk.
After class, can I get some? I don't know if we do video.
No.
Hi, my name is Jeff, by the way. Jeff, not Foxworthy, just Street Foxworthy.
Gotcha. Good morning. So this is Body, Mind, Spirit, and I guess we're going to talk a little bit about death because that's what is coming up already. So, hey.
Feel it already? I feel it already.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to share, if you could just kind of give me a nod so that I can, otherwise it's just like, it's like phones going off for me. Just I can acknowledge, like we just did.
Are we gonna,
It would help me out. What was that? I'm sorry.
Are we going to agree to, before is your question, basically, revise words together? You revise the words, what would it be like? Are we agreeing to, like, we have to sign in to what you say, like?
No, you don't. No, you keep your beliefs. You keep everything that feels good to you, and everything I say. If it resonates, you keep it. If it doesn't resonate, you let it flow.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
And I do have like rules of engagement, right? Like everything that we share here stays here. Keeping comments on the I. This is my experience. I prefer this. Good morning. Phones off. Right.
Yes.
What are the other agreements?
No cross talking.
Yeah, no cross talking. Thank you.
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
Confidentiality.
Confidentiality. What happens here stays here. Respect. That feels good. Does that feel good for everybody? Everybody's in alignment and agreement with all this. And if at any point this is not in alignment for you, then you can just go. Because I want to keep it a safe place for everybody. Does that feel good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That was easy. Awesome. Well, let's just all anchor into this present moment, shall we? So take a big breath in. And just let it go. Do a couple more. Big breath in. And surrender this breath out. Big breath in. Please don't interrupt right now. Please don't interrupt. Just breathe in however you want. It's however you want. Yes, just however you inhale. It's just a breath in. So just breathe in. Okay, let's just pause. Let's just. What's your name? What's your name?
I say excuse me. I say stop talking.
What's your name again? It's okay. What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
What is your name again? I didn't catch it.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, that's right.
Let me excuse
Okay, go ahead, Jeffrey.
I see that Jeff trying to make a big thing out of something that ain't nothing.
I just wanted to make sure you had your space to share before I began. Okay. Okay. We'll try it again.
Bingo. Let's try it again, Miss Shine.
Do over. It's okay, right? Like we're all doing the best we can. You breathe in however you want. You breathe out when I say breathe in. I don't care. It's just to connect with your breath in this present moment. That's all it is. That's all it is. So we'll just try it again. Big breathe in. And breathe out. Take another breath in. Let it go. This one, take a big full breath in. Suspend the breath at the top just for a brief moment. Open up your mind, open up your heart, and then as you breathe out, let your shoulders soften. And let your breath be steady. Be calm. Feel your beating heart, however it is doing its job, how it's supposed to. Feel your weight of the body on the chair. Feel your shoulders continue to soften, your jaws relax. Become aware of this present moment. There's nothing else to do, nowhere to be. Your mind doesn't have to figure out any solutions. Your feet don't have to take you anywhere right now. Your hands don't have to create anything. You just get to be here right now with your breath. This beautiful body, this beautiful mind, this beautiful spirit. Together, we'll take another big breath in and just let it go. And now we're here. And now we're here. Good morning. So this came up already twice. So I guess it's just going to be a theme for now. And we'll just see where this theme takes us, shall we? So death. Hey. So we're all going to do it. Okay. We're all going to have the experience at some point in our life. In fact, it'll be the last experience we ever have. So I'm going to just put that out there. It's okay. And on the way here, I was thinking about death. That was the weird thing that got brought up already. So on the way here, I was thinking about it. And I thought, so I was sleeping and I was having a dream. And I woke up speaking. I was talking about what I was doing in my dream. So I was telling someone, oh, it's Sunday at 7:00. It's quantum spirituality. And I'm speaking it out loud. And I was like, wait, what? I'm in bed. This is okay. And I had that moment of like, wait, where am I? What am I doing? Okay. And so on the way here, I thought, well, how cool would it be if that's the way we die? Meaning, what if we're in sleeping state and we're in a dream and we just don't wake up, but we stay in this dream and it's like this fun place. And next thing you know, we're in this whole other reality. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, what if that's the thing? Because here's the thing, none of us really know. We've been taught beliefs and stuff, and we may have beliefs around it, and okay, they're all fine and right. But what if this is the way it goes? What if the way it is that we go to sleep and then we enter this really dope ass dream state where like we can fly, we magically are in one room to the next room. We don't have to cook unless you love it. Otherwise, it's just there. There's food. It's whatever you love. You've got your friends there. You got people there that maybe you don't know. There's no bad dreams in this space. And you're just in this however long, forever long, momentarily long dream. And that's what death is. How would that be?
I've seen death. It's not pretty. Everybody's not gonna go to sleep and wake up. It doesn't happen that way. I've seen family members die. I've watched. It's not always a pretty process.
Mm-hmm.
You want to look. Let's go quicker to look.
Mm-hmm. Well, and thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I too have been with
yeah.
I've been with people during their transition, and it's very interesting. Because when I thought about it, like, is it a long death? Is it a short, quick thing? Well, the moment of death is it. It's just, it is a moment. The buildup, am I going to live until I die or am I going to die until I die? Because that's the choice.
Yeah.
That's the choice.
When you go to sleep and try to catch a dream and trying to open your eyes to see it, it won't open.
Right. I know. It's like certain senses get like muffled in dream state. It's like, It's like I'll try to see something and I'm like trying to see.
Yeah.
But if I'm not trying to see, then I can see everything fine. I'm going to share what's online here. My mom is here joining us in Indiana amongst some other people. She says she's in no hurry to experience death. And that's how she wants to die, is in the sleep. Well, and it's interesting that we're I don't think many humans are in a hurry to die, right? And yet we rush around and hurry up and we try to get to tomorrow. We worry about tomorrow. We always worry, not we always, but many humans worry about tomorrow so much. Wouldn't that be hurrying to die?
Yeah, rushing.
I got this vision that there's like a spiritual tree and like on a leaf. You know, like when you die, you know, like the leaf goes, but like the tree is still there. So like, you know, there's another season. Just something that I just
I love that. Thank you for sharing that vision, that image. You know, like when I really think about this, right? It's body, mind, spirit. So this is like the what we're here for. And I'm like, why the hell would we rush to die? And yet we really do. We ignore our body half the time. We don't listen to it. We're not present with it. Half the time we don't even know if we're breathing or not until we take a big breath in and we let it go. And then we feel a little bit better, right? Half the time our mind is running us. Half the time our mind is like going. What do I do? Where do I go? What's next? And then where does our spirit get to play in any of that? Where does our spirit get to live in any of that? Like, who wants to like hurry up and die?
I
Anybody? You do?
Yeah,
Cool.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
My prayer lately has been, F you, God, kill me every night.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That was my prayer for like 20 years. And I got super pissed because after the first like 10 years of that, I was like, there is no God because God's not answering my prayer. Now I'm like, okay, universe, God, goddess, source, the infinite wonder, whatever that is. Like, all right, so now I see why I'm here.
I pray every day
You know?
when I'm out doing my deal that a car hits me.
Yeah.
I ain't afraid to die.
Yeah, me
I've
neither.
seen death too.
Yeah. You know, thank you for sharing that. Thanks for being vulnerable and sharing
I
that.
ain't afraid to share anything. You just I'll always be honest. You just may not like the answer.
Yeah. Yeah, like being, you know, and I don't want to change your mind.
No.
You know,
When
like I
I'm-
don't.
There's people in here that know exactly what I'm going through right now. There's people who know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm fighting this battle.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're here
I am too.
right now.
Because I ain't on the streets drinking.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
love you.
I'm glad you're here.
Love you.
You know?
You know?
Wow.
You know? Yeah, that the will to live is a really interesting thing. You know, I held a really big ceremony last night. And at one point, I asked everyone if they are committed to living and if they're committed to love and if they're committed to being a participant in this game, this experience. Because once it's over, it's over. I mean, this to me is like the opportunity where we get to taste food, you know, where we get to feel a hug, where we get to have tears pour out of our eyes, where we get to feel actual pain and suffering. And we also get to feel joy and excitement. We get to have all of these experiences when we have a body. But once we transition out of the body into whatever form or formless thing that is, we'll never have this body again. You know, we'll never have this body again.
One more thing. Doctor told me on Friday that if I keep going the way I go, I'll be dead by Thanksgiving.
Huh.
Alcohol levels right now is 967.
Wow. That's intense.
Blood alcohol level?
No.
Alcohol levels
Yeah.
Oh,
in the body.
Wow.
he's
Well-
in nine. He's in nine.
Well, if you-
67.
Okay. Well,
967.
if you're around longer than that, then like I think can we celebrate it?
Sure.
Okay. And if not, can we celebrate your life anyway?
Of course.
Okay, cool. Okay. What were you gonna say, Robin? And then you.
Well, I don't know if I don't want to irritate you because I have in the past, but
Or just keep it on the eye.
I'll keep it on the eye.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried because it is me, and I wanted to die for years and years and years. I had no children, had no husband, my job, everything sucked in my life the way I looked at it from my eyes. And for the last 3 years of my drinking, I prayed every single day for God to take my life. I ended up in the hospital 3 times for suicide. I had no friends and no family, and alcohol makes you nuts in the head too. And I was just whacked out. And something made me go to the emergency room. And when I went to the emergency room and woke up, it was a miracle. And I had to say to my higher power, I've tried and asked you to kill me so many times. You know I've wanted to die, but here I am, so I'll do what you want me to do. I surrendered to life, because life is not a bowl of cherries. I didn't get anything back except for my self-respect, and which is pretty big, and love of myself and friends, and that's pretty big too, and a higher power that I believe in loving. So that's so much of
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, thank you for speaking to that space of surrender. Because I tell you what, that's a different feeling. Because it's like, if I'm not in surrender and I'm in resistance and I'm asking for something all the time and I'm not getting it, no matter what it is, then I feel frustrated and my body starts to tense up. And so then I tend to go to patterns or behaviors or relationships that force my body to relax. For me, it would have been drugs and alcohol and unhealthy relationships with humans. So then that would be the only way that my body could like kind of relax a little bit, but it never really relaxed. But when we go into the space of surrender, our entire nervous system begins to relax. Our mind calms down and shuts up. And we actually start to open up and allow, so that even if we are going to die or if we are going to live, it just feels better. It just feels better. And that's what I want. That's all I know. What I want is I want to feel better in every now moment that I can. Because I've lived enough lifetimes and nows and series of nows that feel like shit. I don't feel like shit anymore, ever. You know, so surrender. I'm glad you mentioned surrender. Thank you for that. Ivanka, what were you going to share?
I'm Ivanka, and I'm doing so good. Like, I've been clean since October 4th. I'm going to be picking up 30 days soon. And I have a new addiction, and it's walking. Like, I tried on a pair of pants this morning, I couldn't even wear them. They were too big, so I donated them. Speaking about death, I have congestive heart failure, so I had to train myself to eat right. The doctor said if I kept using drugs and alcohol, I wouldn't make it to C45. November 4th, 2023, I'll be 45. So I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm here. Another thing that I had to do, make changes of who I'm surrounding myself with. Listening, getting good people around me, finding something positive to do. I refuse to give up my caffeine. I love my caffeine. I do that all day. I do that before I pick up a drug or drink. And eating right. Another thing, not to get off topic, but I'm a big member of Elevation. I watch that on YouTube. I get more spiritual in my life instead of feeding myself with food. Because I will sit and eat a whole bag of chips in 1 second. That's not healthy. I don't want to be obese. So I just try to switch negative to something positive. I've came close to death a lot of times. I'm a victim of domestic violence. I've been thrown out of cars. I've been thrown out of trucks. I didn't think I was going to make it out of the hotel room. You know, I have guns to my head. I've done a lot of things. And I'm not supposed to be here. But if I'm not dead, God is not done with me yet.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Because even online it says God has plans for everyone, or whatever word works for you if God doesn't. And that God, or whatever your word is, will take you home in its time.
Yeah.
And, you know, talking about the replacing one behavior for another. So here's the thing. You know, when I've tried to like quit something, whatever that is, I gotta replace it with something else. Because what I've learned is when I quit anything, then what I'm left is just with me. I'm just with me. And so for me, that's been really challenging in my life, because the reason I was addicted to so many behaviors was because I couldn't handle being with me, because I had trauma and abuse and blah, 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 blah in my life. So I couldn't handle all those unprocessed emotions and the stories that I had been carrying, and the feelings of like, I'm not worthy and I don't deserve love and all these things. I couldn't even handle that. So I would be like, that's cool. I'm going to quit drinking. And then I'm like, what can I smoke? You know, or I would quit smoking and be like, that's fine. What can I drink? you know, and if I quit both of those, I'd be like, how many pizzas can I eat in a row? You know, and when that stopped, it was like, how many people can I hook up with? You know, like just really just self-harm after self-harm after self-harm. But my point is, if whatever it is that we quit that's not serving us, whatever that relationship is, right? Relationship with ourselves, a community that's not serving us, a substance, if it's not serving our body, mind, and spirit, and we take it out of the equation, I feel that we got to replace it with something. You know, you've replaced it with walking, with spirituality. Those are great because they're pretty accessible. We all got a spirit, and most of us have the capacity to move our bodies from one location to another, whatever that looks like. You know, we have this beautiful earth outside. You know, meditation could be something that replaces the things. Singing, dancing,
Good music.
drawing,
Meetings.
writing,
Meetings.
you know,
So
meetings, community, support. I mean, like there's so many things to replace the stuff with that we take out if the things that we took out are unhealthy.
Mhm.
You know, because here's the thing, if we don't replace it, then we can literally drive ourselves bonkers. And then that to me is an agonizing death. The last thing I want to do before I die on my grand exit plan is to like completely be glitching out the whole time. Like, what the fuck? This sucks. I can't do it. Like, I don't want to be in that state because I've been there before.
Oh, man.
And that's the last thing I want to do for
Yeah.
however long it is that I'm going to be in this body. So if I can be like, fuck it, I'm just going to surrender and I'm going to replace all this shit that hurts me with God, give me a sign. Goddess, give me a sign. What can I do? And next thing you know, somebody's going to give me something. I'll be like, well, I guess I'm going to learn how to play with this thing. I'll just play with this for days. You know what I mean? Or whatever that is. What were you going to share?
Yeah, well, first of all, I used to be a dancer, but those days are over. for Obvious reasons. But I think I said this before, worrying about something that you can't prevent that's going to happen anyways. So why worry about it? Yes, I plan for tomorrow. Why? Do I expect to wake up tomorrow? No. I do it because just in case, what if? That way I have one less thing. If I wait with Jesus tells me to get up that morning to get your busy ass up, fine. If not, I took care of something that was on my mind. I wasn't worried about it, but what if, you know? And I died 6 years ago. What you see is a ghost. I died 6 years ago. I was dead. 2 minutes. Flat. Did I see a light? Yeah, at the sort of time they zapped me, I saw the overdose. But do you see tunnels and all that? Yeah. Bunch of crap.
For you. Don't project that one because that's not truth for everyone.
Give you that. Now, I also happen to know for a fact that there is life after death. I know this for a fact. For 29 years, I lived in a haunted house. Yes. We had 3. They seemed perfectly content to be who they were, as they were. Yes, they could walk through walls and all that. And they seemed perfectly happy. They could be happy. I could be happy with it too.
Right?
So why worry?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, so even if we become a ghost or whatever, right? Like we're like, okay, I'm dead and now I'm still kind of here, but I'm not. You know, like, okay, that would be cool to like be able to like float through walls and shit. Like, I'll give it that. I will give it that. But you know what they can't do? They can never taste like they can never feel what like drinking a drink of water
We
is.
don't know that.
You know, well, they can't because they don't have the sensory systems.
We don't know that.
You know,
Until
yes, and the because water has a form and they don't have and spirit doesn't have a form. So my point is like you can't hug a ghost,
no.
right? So if you can't hug a ghost, they can't hug you. You might be able to get close, you might be able to feel their presence, right? So my point is that when we're in this body, we have the senses and what a gift they are. You know, that we can experience open up a bubbly water and drinking it and then burping. Whoa, like we get to do that. When we're not in the body, we can't. And so just to your point, like adding to that, it's being able to be like, whoa, yeah, so I'm on my way out. I'm on my way to death. Yeah. Not going to plan for it. And I'm also going to make plans for my life. I'm going to plan like I'm going to live forever, but I'm also not going to have any attachments and freak out about how am I going to live forever. Right? What were you going to share?
I like the when you first start out. It kind of tickled me because I was talking about it a couple of days ago with somebody. That's how I kind of envision death. It's like when I be dreaming, sometimes I'm in that in between dream and awake, and sometimes I wake myself up because I don't like my dream, and sometimes I just see it through. Like to me, that's how I have begun to envision death for me, because it made it easier for me to do surrender, like Robin had said. Because once I decided to surrender, my surrender for me was feeling a lot of those voids with more nothingness. Well, not nothingness, more openness to allow whatever was on my journey to come. Because I used to occupy my time replacing stuff, staying moving. And I wasn't actually enjoying what was going on around me. So when I started letting go of the bad habits, I started feeling with that openness. And openness for me looks like just going with the flow. I'm going to just sit still and try not to force myself to do anything. Because when I be in those dream states, it seems like death to me. I'm always doing so much.
Thanks for sharing that.
I have a dream I could share with y'all. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to do it anyway just because it's a good thing. It might lift somebody's spirit.
Well, before you do, no one's wearing their judgy pants, right?
No.
Yeah, see, easy peasy.
So I'm sleeping. I usually get up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and this particular morning, first I have to tell you that I was burned. When I was 18 months old, I had 3rd-degree burns, and I was on morphine for a year, and then we had another operation and another scar. So I was the center of attention in my family with a lot of bad things for a number of years. So at any rate, I'm sleeping, and I'm kind of awake, and I'm kind of not. And in my dream is a baby, and the baby's feet are burning. There's a fire under them. And she's crying to go, and somebody has her and is taking her to the emergency room. But all the emergency rooms were full. And so the last part of my dream that I remember is this person that was taking me to the emergency room had her arms all around me, and my feet quit burning and said, "You'll be okay."
Wow.
That's kind of a really something, because I don't think about my burns. I did something called Temenos where I got mad at God for my burns and all that stuff. So I worked through it. Good Lord, at my age, this was a long time ago. But at any rate, that just gave me a lot of hope and a lot of love and a lot of knowledge that no matter what, I'll be okay.
Yes. And I'm so glad you shared that. And with that, there are times I think that, has anyone ever felt like nobody gives a shit about you?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you could die and nobody would even care.
Yeah.
Like you could be in pain and nobody gives 2 fucks.
Yeah.
Like literally it's like nobody cares that I am struggling right now. And I just want to say that we are cared about and we are held by spirits, whether they're in form or not. Whether we know it or not, we're always held. So little you didn't have a memory of being held. Your memory was that you had this awful experience and that you had all this attention, but only because you were in pain. And then that would leave you to be like, well, maybe I wouldn't have gotten all this pain if I were healthy. So then subconscious you would have created a life where you're just going to be in pain all the time because that's the way you found to be loved. Right? So I share that because that's the story for a lot of us in so many ways, in so many ways, in some way or another. But to remember, like, you know what? People actually love me. People, beings, spirits, ancestors, angels, guides, galactic friends, star beings, God, Goddess, the universe, Earth, Pachamama, whatever it is. But we are loved and held more than we will ever know. we'll never know it. We can't know it. We can't know it. If we knew how much we were loved, we wouldn't be able to stop crying just out of the complete, like, oh my God, I'm loved this much. Oh, you know, like we would just be like heaps of snot and tears of joy all the time. Because we would be filled with like what the Holy Spirit in some way, shape, or form. We would be filled with the love. And we are all the time. It's just when we remember it. And then we can start to open up and surrender and be like, you know what? I'm just going to trust. I'm going to trust that I'm here for a reason. Maybe the only reason I'm here is to be loved by unseen forces. Ooh, well, then I'm going to make a game out of that.
Wow.
You know, and then it becomes our choice. And that's how we can start to play with our mind. That's body, mind, spirit. So then can I play with my mind? Can I let my mind try to find the unseen forces that love me in the unspoken ways? And the next thing you know, you might look, you know, go outside and you have like 3 cardinals that are just sitting there watching you and chirping.
Yeah.
You're like, what, why would that? I feel love. That was for me, you know, or whatever that is. Or you might get a phone call that just says, you know, hey, is this so-and-so? And you're like, no, wrong number. And then they say, you know what? That's okay. Thank you for your time. I hope that you are blessed and know that you're loved. And you're like, that was the wrong number, but was it? You know, or whatever that is. So I just want to share that, you know, we are loved so much more than we'll ever know. We're held more than we'll ever know. So allowing that to be a reality, it has to be allowed. Because if I'm in resistance to that idea alone, then I'm not going to experience it. And that adds into your surrender. You know, let the mind open up and be like, what if I'm loved more than anything else ever? What if I'm loved as much as I love?
Jane, I just want to renew, because I've been saying it every day, I am worthy of blessings and miracles all the time. Say that
Yes.
I just want to remind everybody.
I love that. Thank you. But think about this, y'all. What if you're loved as much as you love? You know how much you love. You love more than anyone you know, right? You love bigger than anyone you know. The way you love certain people, certain places, certain animals, like the way you love is really big.
You get me all teary-eyed.
So think about that.
Big heart. I don't want to see nobody suffer.
Of course not. And so that love that you have, that you are, you're loved that much too. You are loved that much. How good does that feel?
Good.
Like, holy shit, wait a minute. I'm loved as much as I love. And don't have an expectation on how that's supposed to look.
It's kind of strange because with my daughter, I try to teach her about love. She doesn't really understand it the way that I do, but it's also she hasn't. A lot of people didn't take the time to actually sit and look at it. So
How old
I
is
give
she?
her 14.
Okay.
So I give her choices and most of what she is to do instead of just telling her what to do. So she got mad at me a couple of weeks ago and told me that I could have stopped something that she did. And I said, wait a minute, baby. Please remember that I love you the same way that I would expect it to be me. I mean, I'm giving you a free choice. You made a choice, and I'm allowing you to experience whatever that situation is. You can always make a different choice, and I still have a choice. And for me, that's how I always wanted to be loved. And like when you was just saying that, made me kind of remember that, yeah, it took me a long time to get to where I was loving people the way, well, that I am loving people the way that I asked you to love me, just who I am, regardless of what decisions I make. Because I never really had that. I had more, well, like pretty sure everybody, where people wanted me to be a certain way in order to love me. And all I wanted was just do like I'm doing you, be you. And I love you for that. Let me just be me.
Yes. Oh, thank you for raising your daughter that way, one. And thank you for sharing that. Especially because how many of us have ever loved someone and then they didn't like the way we loved them? We didn't do it right. Okay. I wasn't home early enough. I didn't bring home the right food. I didn't clean the house enough. I used the wrong detergent. I didn't take the garbage out. I thought it wasn't full enough. Whatever. Whatever. These are like super like basic examples, but most of us have had that experience, right? Where it's like, I love someone the best I know how. And the funny thing is that when our love is rejected, it's through actions.
Mm-hmm.
But if I just feel love for someone, it's never not enough.
Call it tough love.
Huh?
I noticed when they call it tough love. If a person accepts it or not, you shouldn't look towards them. It's tough love. You love them unconditionally, regardless of whether they appreciate or want anything back from you. You don't expect anything back from that person. Obviously, you just love them anyway, regardless. It's like tough love.
Say what you just said again, please.
So I don't remember because it just came through. I think it was that our actions can only show the love that we have this much,
Mm-hmm.
because the amount of love that I have for someone will never fully be conveyed with the meal that I cook.
Mm-hmm.
Or what time I take the garbage out. But if I just love them because I love them, because I love them, because I love them, I just love them. That's all. I can just sit there and love them. It's never not enough. Now, if they start to say, you don't love me enough, well, tell me why. Well, because you don't do this or you do this too much. Yeah, but no, I'm actually loving you, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just loving you. So love is this intangible thing. It's kind of like what you were saying, you give your daughter these choices and then she's like, oh, you let me make the wrong decision. Well, then what's the alternative? I start telling you exactly what to do and you can't make your own decision anymore. Or would you like to, be aware that you're not happy with your own choice and you're trying to deflect it on me? And that's tough love, right? Is to be able to communicate in those words. Right. Words are part of a way we show love. And sometimes the truth of love doesn't feel good because it lands in the heart. Like, oh, you're right. You called me out. Yeah, I don't want you to tell me what to do all the time. And you're right. I am blaming you for my own decision. But that's assuming that we're talking to somebody that has self-awareness. And a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't. I'm only self-aware for what I know. The other stuff, I'm like, I didn't know that was a blind spot. So here we are, heading toward death, with this choice to surrender into whatever it is we have before us, and to remember that we're loved more than we'll ever know by seen and unseen forces, because we're loved as much as we love. And then how do we take care of ourselves with that information? Like, how do we human with that information? It seems like it'd be an easy answer, right? But our mind doesn't have an answer because it's beyond the mind. The mind can't figure it out. The mind doesn't understand or comprehend the infinite. And love is infinite. So the mind literally can't tell us, well, then how do I do it? You don't think about it. You just do it. You just be it. You just choose surrender. You say, no, I'm choosing surrender. And then you don't figure out how to do it. You just do it. And you'll know when you're not doing it because it feels like resistance.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know. Like, that's the only way you know is if there's resistance. But I know for a fact that we are made to live a life that's not hard. And we've lived a hard life.
Yes.
Welcome to Team Human.
Yes. Yes.
We all have.
Yes.
If you are in a human body, I don't care where you grew up, you've had it hard. Whether you grew up with or without, you've had it hard. Yeah. And so it's like, well, shit. Well, if we're all Team Human, we've all had it hard. can we just not give ourselves a little bit more grace, give each other a lot more grace, let our mind chill the fuck out and just surrender to the fact that we're going to be here until we're not. And we have a choice to enjoy the ride or be in resistance to being on the damn roller coaster that we decided to incarnate with.
Wow. Wow.
That's the choice.
That's weird.
And that's the choice, right? You get freedom of choice. That's the free will gift that they talk about. Like, oh, you're human, you got free will, yay! And then we're like, damn it, how dare you give me free will? So, like, we're all like your 14-year-old daughter. All of us can be that.
I just wanted to say, whenever when I have it real good, using ice stay for that.
Thank you.
When I disrespectful. Whenever I have it real good, I don't remember. It seems how bad it can get, but when I have it bad, holy shit! And I'm telling you, I mean, I didn't even know I had anxiety issues. Holy hell! I'm telling you, I've cutting off on my medication, like I'm allergic to it or something, and nothing. I mean, I know trees too shall pass. First, keep it. I mean, I'm throwing off all these things, and I'm like, I think it's just a transition phase, like post-acute withdrawal syndrome or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but what's helping? Helping others get the hell out of their self, and this great. I like the fact that this is hard. It's a hardcore subject, and you're tackling it.
Oh,
I
thanks.
appreciate it.
Well, thanks for that reflection. Yeah, it's like there are certain things in life that I refuse to turn away from and I refuse to ignore. I refuse to turn away and ignore death, pain. I refuse to ignore emotions that have made me uncomfortable and suicidal. And I'm also not going to dive into them and only play with that stuff either. You know what I mean? That's the balance. Because we got the mind. Still got the mind.
I used to have a counselor that told me at Davis in behavioral health, he used to say, stop playing with your life. Stop playing with your life. And I never knew what that meant.
God.
Stop playing with your life.
And then I think, well, why are we here to live? Like, how are we going to live in play? When I think about play, I think about like being a kid, like swinging on swing sets, hitting baseballs, throwing basketballs in a hoop, playing like red light, green light, or whatever. I don't know, like the games, jumping rope. Yeah, dodgeball. Don't get hit. Yeah, you always had that one person that was like, duh, with the dodgeball. You'd be like, God, dude, like just hang on 1 second. And it's like, what if life is actually made to be playful? Not drugging ourselves and doping ourselves into oblivion so that we can just annihilate our vessel, this vehicle. It's literally like if somebody's like, here's a brand new car. And you're like, I'm going to put in the wrong gasoline and I'm going to drive it into the ground. I'm never going to check the brakes. I'm not going to check the tire pressure. I'm not even going to use my windshield wiper. So even if it's muddy, I can't see shit. I'm just going to go pedal to the metal, right? And it's kind of like, or we can take care of it. Because here's the thing, we're going to die anyway. So that leads me back to the top of the hour. So we can either enjoy the ride to the death, or we can hate the ride to the death. Either way, we're on the ride and we're going to die. Yes.
So let me ask you a question. Is it okay to enjoy the ride and just keep going?
Yeah, why not?
I can just stay out there all the time and keep doing what I'm doing. Because it's my life, right?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, we can go on forever. I mean,
if I want to go find a bridge right now and jump off, I can do that, right? I
mean,
I'm not going to.
Thank you. That's the free will. Eric was talking about free will earlier. And yes, remembering too that like, here's a concept. Here's a what if, okay? Have your beliefs. It's just a what if to try on. What if we're eternal beings because we're made of energy and you can't create or destroy it? So that would make us forever. And what if we choose suicide and we go ahead and finish us off? We have to come back and keep repeating until we learn the lesson to just surrender and be in joy and let life be lived through us, with us, as us, so that we can go on to the next level of the game of life. So say the next level is, I don't know, a dope ass reality where it's like, oh, I got love and support everywhere. Or it's the dope ass reality where it's like heaven and angels, or like whatever your next dope ass reality is. What if that's the truth? Here's the thing. If that's the truth, that's one of the reasons why, like, I can't kill myself now. Because I'm like, oh wait, hold on. If I have to come back and just do all this shit again to learn it, when I literally just could have learned it this time and just surrender and just allow peace, allow love, allow well-being. I just got to allow grace to wash over me. That's all I got to do is just allow that shit. Or I can kill myself and get reborn again, get into another family, or maybe everything would be the exact same players. Who knows? Like, you know, like, I don't want to test that shit. Those are waters I don't want to test. That's what I know for sure. Because man, how bad would that suck? Could you imagine if you went ahead and did that and you woke up like the next moment and you were in your baby body and you look around and you see the same motherfucking parents and you see all this shit and you'd be like, oh my God. And all I had to do was love myself. All I had to do was love myself and I wouldn't have to do this again.
Wow.
Bad. Right?
Makes things a lot different.
Yeah. So it's like, so we have a new opportunity in every now. That's the gift of free will. In every now, we have a moment. We have a choice moment. Do I choose my mind to be open and surrender? Do I choose my heart to be receiving and giving of the love that I am and that the I am is? Do I allow my body to be nourished? Do I choose that now, or do I be in resistance to that? No judgment. We took those pants off before we came in this space. Nobody's wearing judgy pants. But we have another now moment. So it's like, so what if I make a choice today and I'm hurting myself? Okay, well then I can say, oh shit, I just did that. Okay, I just remembered that I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt myself anymore. That's okay. I'm going to give myself grace. I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing that's hurting myself in this right now. I'm going to push it aside and I'm going to replace it with the new thing. So now I'm going to just take that walk. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to go take that walk. I'm going to put this bottle down. I'm going to put this whatever down. I'm going to put that down. I'm just going to take a fucking walk and I'm going to connect back with the breath that I got, the sunshine, the air, the stars, the moon, the whatever it is that's out there that's bigger than me. You know, or not, or it can just be in resistance and possibly have to do it all over again. Fuck that. Yeah.
I have a higher power. I have submitted my higher power. I'm not going to get my life before he ends. Because I'm here for a purpose, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Best of luck. Now, I'm not here for money and fame. I don't want to be known by fame or money. I just want to be known as a loving person, a caring person, a giving person, a non-judgmental person. And then I remember my name as a good person. I don't want to be remembered for money or fame.
Yeah.
But I'm not in my life. I've tried it before, but I decided. Every time I tried, it didn't work out. So I decided I'm here for my higher power ends it. No matter what I go through, I'm going to be here until it ends. So he ends it. Now I will go like I'm supposed to go and not end it my life early before I'm supposed to end it, you know?
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And here's one more thing, and then we'll close. What if? I love what ifs. I don't know if you can tell. Has anyone ever wondered what the hell your purpose is here on Earth?
Yeah.
Like what am I doing here? Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if? What if your only purpose is to just live? What if? What if your only purpose is to just be a breathing, loving being here on Earth? That's it. Like, what if that's it? That my only purpose is to be loving? Well, then I'd have
How the hell did I
bonuses.
ride a scooter from Tampa, Florida, all the way to here to live in Talbot? A moped.
That's impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, you got so many stories.
Huh?
813 or 727?
It was.
So like, and that's another thing too. You know, when we live, because here's the thing, we have not typically, most humans have not lived a life just being present as the love that we are, right? Most of us have lived in resistance to that until we remember, we wake up, we are saved, we recover, whatever that is. And so what if our part of our story is our purpose? Our purpose is to share the story of like, yeah, so this one time I was in a shitstorm called my life. And then something changed. I had this pivotal shift, right? And then after that, I experienced love. And people would be like, how did you do that? I just chose it. No, but how? No, that was it. I just chose it. So that's part of our unique gift, is that we all have our own story to tell with it. Because only I have Jane's story. You know, like nobody can tell Robin's story, just Robin. But all Robin's got to do is share her story and wake up and breathe and love. And not in that order, just whatever that is. That's it. So that's our purpose. So try that on. So that's the next week's assignment.
I may not be here.
You may not. I may not be here. Hell, if I don't show up next week, you'll know something happened. You know. And then celebrate. Like, well, Jane was really fun when we knew her. Yay! You know, like, cry if you want, but like, please celebrate. So the invitation for the next week's focus is to try on the what if. The what if today all I have to do to live into my highest purpose ever is to live in love, to surrender into love. And just try it. Just try it on for a week. That's all you got. You got a week to try on surrendering into the possibility that your only life's purpose is to live in and as love. Other things will come and go, but try it on and see how it feels. And next week, we'll just check in, and it might be like, my life totally changed, or absolutely nothing changed, or, you know, Shitstorm USA, who knows? But it'll give us stories. But it'll give us stories to share. You know, it'll give us stories to possibly share. You know, that's what we're here for. We're just here to be humans, love each other, share our stories, and just to remember. I love you.
You rock.
Who the hell's
Earth.
I thought somebody that cusses more than me.
Yeah, I do. I know, right? I know. It sounds like it'd be like a Mr. Clean commercial. Like, I'm here to clean up Shitstorm USA. Just sprinkle this on and wipe it off, and it's shiny and new again. It really would be. Oh, I love y'all. Thanks for like hanging out. Hey, so I'm gonna be here Friday for Keep Your Power at 10:15. So I want to talk about how you talk to, like, I think, how do you talk with anger? So just kind of be contemplating that.
Okay.
Thank you all for being here.